Hello everyone and welcome back. Issue 65, part 2 of 2 of our Neophyte hybrids. So there you go. We've got the sprue and we've also got now all our bases to get them done. If any of you do the Colts, you will know that there's extra 2 bases there for heavy weapons. So let's move them off. Artwork on there you go. Colts on there, and then our Neophyte hybrids. Once they're all done, so we're going to be covering them, guys. Warzone Calnafe, I probably destroyed that, and campaign continues. So, as it would have showed in the previous issue in 64, we've obviously glued them all together, and now it's our how to paint. So we start with Administratum Grey for our undercoats, and Methstone Red, start painting cloths. Lead Belcher for weapons, and bits of metal, i.e. for light on their lenses. Moving on, we're still on our Lead Belcher for trophies or whatever they've got here. Wraith Bones for skin, and for the base coat. Screamer Pink for tongues. Ketchum Flesh, and Macragge Blue for clothing. Rackar Flesh, Corax White, Retributor Armor for symbols, and Methstone Red for more bits of cloth and for piping. So we've got a base coat gallery. Some parts of the models will still be black from the undercoat. If needed, take a moment to tidy them up with Abaddon Black. Your base coats are now complete. Before you move on to the next stage, check the models against the gallery to make sure you have completed all the steps. If you spot something you missed, just go back to the appropriate step in the guide. So here's our guide here, showing you what the guys will start looking like now with their base coats. And like they always do in these magazines, we're working on shades now. So we start with Noon Oil, Caribou Crimson for the flesh, Reikland Flesh Shade, Corlia Green Shade, Agrex Earth Shade, and then highlights. So Methstone Red, Calgar Blue, Stormhost Silver, Nightquester Flesh, Pallid Witch Flesh, Pink Horror, Mechanical Standard Grey, Wild Rider Red, Corax White. So, well, as they always put, it's a work in progress, but these guys are pretty much battle ready. Get them on the tabletop and have some fun. So, a rise for the day of Ascension is at hand. So, probably the word that I butchered before, Warzone Calaf. The Calaf expands in a vast war zone in the Ultima Segmentum of the Imperium Nihilus. After the emergence of the Great Rift, it was cut off from the rest of the Imperium. In the darkness, heresy spread, and now the system is in grip of civil wars, Xenos invasions, cult uprisings, and insidious ideologies. So I'll leave that there. Anyone wants to have a quick read. And then just slightly below, got some art here. The fanatical sisters of the Adeptus Sororitas clash with Tau forces. So, Volcus, the world of Volcus, is famous of its city-sized gun emplacements. Massive Ballestus, elite kill teams of every faction fight to defend, destroy, or exploit it. Saints Halt. Saints Halt was a crowded shrine world. The Death Watch fought there, defending the world from Tau attack and from the Hive Woman uprising of the Dynasty of the Cults. Cestus. Cestus is a barren world covered in mountain ranges. The Tau gained a foothold there, attempts to return it to Imperial control, devolved into a long, bloody war. So areas obviously gained by certain forces. I'll leave that up there. I want us to have a quick read of that. And then we've got our battle map there. So, Next page, Spears of Expansion for Reed L Warzone 04. And then here they show areas that have been taken. Key, Mining Fleet, Orbital City, and Fortress Station. Moving on to the next page. Still on our Reed sector here, Force Disposition. So Imperium, Dynasty of the Colts, also the Orcs are involved in this, and the Tau Empire. So I'll move that back up there. Anyone wants to have a little gander at that and read. And then we'll move down to the bottom two. Okay, campaign. So Chaos Space Marines versus the Leagues of Votan. So the Chaos Space Marines and the kin of the Leagues can both boast along bitter memories. Their bloody history weighs heavily in their minds. Every new battle adds to their tales of strife and enmity. So there's our map there, how it's going to look. Obviously, we're using the Chaos Space Marines and the Leagues of Votan. Was it a Chaos Space Marines victory? Or was it a Leagues of Votan victory? Okay, another one. Play H, Campaign 16, Leagues of Votan versus Orcs. So I'll leave that there. Anyone wants to have a read of what's coming up? And I'll post the boys there for the Leagues of Votan and the Orcs. Was it a League of Votan victory? Or was it an Orcs victory? So, Scenario 40, Cult Ambush. Play F, Scenarios 40. So we'll go to how to play. Set up the battlefield as shown over leaf, placing a total of 4 terrain cards with a battlefield debris area. Terrain or barricade keywords. You can find the rules for these in C, Core Rules 13, page 45, 46. Finally, place an objective marker in the center of the map. So, your deployment. Dynasty the Cults player deploys 1 unit of 5 Neophyte Hybrids and 1 Magus in the deployment area, and 1 unit of 5 Neophyte Hybrids in reserves. Next, the Orc player deploys 3 units of 2 Orc Boys in the deployment area. The Dynasty Cult player takes the first turn. There's how our battle map is laid out. Dynasty of the Cult's deployment zone and Orcs deployment zone in the center with the objective marker. So how to win. At the end of each battle round, the player whose army controls the objective markers gains 1 victory point. The battle lasts for 4 battle rounds. The player with the greatest number of victory points at the end of the 4th battle round is the winner. If players are tied victory points after 4 battle rounds, the game is a draw. So deployment abilities. Talk about Deep Strike Reminder here. So I'll just leave that there for a bit. Anyone wants to have a read of that? Moving on. So our conclusion to our battle, was it Orcs victory? Was it a draw? Or was it Dynasty of the Cults victory? And then at the final page, we've got our cults here. I can guarantee this will change probably next month, probably next month's issues, as I think we're starting to get the Astra Militarum, so I can imagine that'll change. So look forward. What we got? Issue 66. We've got our Aberrants, Insidious Infiltrators and Artillery. And then 67 and 68. Again, our Neophyte Hybrids. We'll be covering the Dynasty of the Cults detachments and combat patrol rules. And that covers issue 65. Thank you all again for watching. And thank you for the recent you guys subscribing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your support. And I will see you all very soon for our next video. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye for now.